Alrighty, so this is episode 4 of I May Destroy You. It's titled That Was Fun. Honestly, they should have named it That Was Triggering because, woo, this episode was a lot. The episode opens with Arabella. She's talking to her therapist. We find out that it's been 7 weeks since the incident. Now, we're going back and forth between her and Kwame in this scene. We have Kwame, he's at the grocery store. I'm assuming he's with his grandmother. He's cruising the apps like he normally is. Now, we get back to Arabella, and she's just talking about like how she's coping with life after assault. She doesn't feel comfortable alone. She feels more comfortable around people. She still has the flashbacks, and also she's come up with like a coping mechanism when she's by herself. Like, really terrible. Like, she's really trying to get back to normalcy. Now, we get back to Kwame, and he found a hookup in the grocery store where he's at with his grandmother. So he goes off, meets the guy, and they find a bathroom stall, and he proceeds to perform fellatio. Okay. So when I saw this scene, I was like, it's pretty realistic. I gotta give it to him. Like, I'm not gonna put anybody's business in the streets, but I have a friend who, back in the day, was on the apps a lot. He was at a restaurant, and the waiter was on the hookup app, and they hooked up in the bathroom right quick, and he went right back to the table like nothing happened. Anywho, so the therapist is going over symptoms victims usually experience after assault, which is usually like emotional numbness or like the flashbacks, and of course Arabella has been through all of that, but she's more concerned with finishing her draft, and she's asking for tips in order to help her do that. The therapist is like, why don't you give the draft like a pause? She's like, well, I can't because I don't get paid unless I finish that draft. Don't you hate capitalism? And the people who are in charge of paying her, they're actually paying for the therapy. Now, we get back to Kwame, and he's just finishing it up. They leave the bathroom nonchalantly. We see the guy he hooked up with is actually a worker at the grocery store. And we even see him in the checkout line. The guy is swiping his groceries and doesn't even acknowledge him, doesn't even glance his way, just give him a bag, hands on his way. So we also find out in Arabella's therapy session that she hasn't told her mom. And then the therapist is also trying to give her tips on how to have some type of normalcy in her life. So she's saying, why don't you do some yoga, some relaxing activities with friends, even coloring. And finally, around the end of her session, it's basically like she's just coping right now. Like, she's wearing this mask of, I'm fine, And really, there really is no quick way to get over being assaulted in such a way. This is just so real, so real. I can just imagine how triggering this show is, but it's such an important show. So the next scene, we're at a workout class that's hosted by Kwame. And Arabella's there too. They're working out to Big Frida. Shout out to Big Frida. I mean, legendary bounce artist. Like, I was like the yuka. Anywho, I just had to give a shout out to New Orleans. After his class, Kwame is approached by a relative of someone in his class. The guy is so nervous talking to Kwame, and they agree to go get coffee afterward. And then we get a short glimpse of Arabella still on the floor, worn out from the workout class, and she's thinking of the assault again. So we get to Kwame and the guy walking down the street. And before I get to that, can I just say, any type of representation for black gay men, I'm here for it, okay? Like, it's really hard to find out stories on TV, so yeah, I'm applauding the show already for that. So the guy, I'm assuming, talking to Kwame has never really had a gay experience. He can barely even say the word gay. Been there, done that. Woof, gosh, when you try to find yourself in your teens to mid-20s, it's so crazy how it's hard for people to even say the word. But I'm telling too much of my business. Anywho, Kwame is attempting to make the guy feel comfortable. He even asks him point blank, are we the same? The guy can't even answer it. So at the end of the day, we found out that they both stay with their parents and they kind of want some alone time. I'm kind of surprised because this guy looks significantly older than Kwame. I'm surprised that he lives with his nana, but I'm guessing there is some people that, you know, they have to live with their nana because they're taking care of them. So they're trying to find some type of privacy. Kwame comes up with the idea, it's just like, well, if I can find a place for us, would you be interested? And the guy's like, yeah. And he's like, well, even if another person is involved. The guy's like, sure, I'm not scared. So the next scene, Arabella is meeting up with a fellow writer, I'm assuming brought in by her editors to help her finish her draft. Now the shop is about to close and he suggests a hotel bar. She recoils at that idea and is like, okay, why don't we just meet in the office? He's talking about The Office in episode 1, where she went to after she got assaulted. She immediately thought of that and was just like, oh, it's fine, we can go to the hotel bar. Meanwhile, we go back to Kwame and he's still cruising the app looking for a third party so they can host him and his date. So we're at the hotel bar with Arabella and the guy's name is Zane. She can't focus at all because everything around her is triggering her assault at the moment. So she can't focus so bad that she just apologizes and leaves abruptly. Meanwhile, Kwame gets a match on his app and the threesome is good to go. So we're back with Arabella and she goes to her family's house. She goes up to her old room solely just to pick up coloring pencils. We see her back on the bus with the flashbacks and, you know, her coping mechanism that she mentioned to the therapist early in the episode. All right, so Kwame and his date arrives at the host's house. The date is worrying about, oh, am I going to have to do anything? Kwame assures him that he doesn't. They share a little intimate kiss before this guy answers the door. This guy is a burly ass nigga. He's about as tall as I am. Meanwhile, we're at Arabella's apartment and she invites Zane over. I'm guessing she's comfortable being in her space. So they're getting to know each other. Some awkwardness ensues. I'm seeing that there's some attraction going on. And all of a sudden we're at Arabella suggesting, okay, we should have sex. Now I'm assuming this is her first time since the assault that she's had sex. So when they start making out, she flinches a little bit because she had a quick flashback. But she wants him to stay though, so she goes over to the other side of her bed, starts smoking a joint, and really tells him to stay. So we're back at Kwame's hookup spot, and it's the three of them in this bedroom. It looks like a scene from Dog Pound is about to happen. Now, I'm aware that most of my viewers are female, so I'm going to help you out. It's DAWGPOUND. Warning, it is not safe for work. But when you look at it, you will know what I'm talking about. Anywho, Kwame's talking to the guy. He's saying he's down for whatever. Burly guy is horny as fuck and ready to go. He's letting him know that he doesn't really care about his friend being there. He can watch. He's not interested in smashing him. He's interested in smashing Kwame. So basically they cut the bullshit and they start making out. Now we're back at Arabella's. They're getting it in. They start to have sex. While they're having sex, he asked her to flip over. And unbeknownst to her, he slips off the rubber and continues to have sex with her. And I was just like, oh my God. Like, what a fucking breach of consent. Like, how grimy. Like, how rude. Like, oh my God. Like, this is basically on the same level as assault. I was so angry when I watched this scene. I wanted to take my LSU snow globe and throw it at my TV. I'm glad I didn't do that because I still need to do reviews and I can't afford another flat screen. We get back to Kwame's situation. They're getting hot and heavy in front of Kwame's date. He's just watching, getting increasingly uncomfortable. Burly nigga's like, he wants to smash without a rubber. Kwame is like, no. Burly guy's like, well, I thought you were down for everything. He was like, I am, but not that. Now, big up for Kwame for standing firm on that, on protection. I do have a story about that, but it is none of y'all's business. So, the guy begrudgingly gets a condom. And I gotta say, this scene was very, very, very accurate. It was startlingly realistic, startlingly accurate at how accurate that sex scene was. I was a little uncomfortable how accurate it was. I was a little turned on by it until, you know, I'm gonna get to the next part. But at first I was just like, wow, this is really on TV right now. Wow, in my lifetime. So as they're all in on the act, Kwame's date is just like, I'm out of here, I'm leaving. Kwame's disappointed. The burly guy's just like, F him, you're with me, let's finish. And they do. So Arabella and Zane, they finish smashing. Zane goes to the restroom right quick. Arabella seems pretty pleased at the situation. She also thinks of Italian Bay, and she actually sends him a photo. He responds immediately. He also asks her, like, how you been? Like, you don't seem like yourself. And she just quickly ignores him. Zane gets back in the room. She tells him, oh, make sure you dispose the condom over there. He's like, oh, I took the condom off. She was like, you're fucking joking. You joking. And he's like, well, I thought you knew. I thought you felt it. You know, I was uncomfortable. Bullshit. Bullshit. I'm surprised she did not flip the fuck out. I was at home flipping the fuck out when he did it. Wow. So she's clearly upset, but she's not to the point where, you know, she clocking that nigga with a vase or something like that. She just said, you coming with me and you're paying for me to get the Plan B pill. So Kwame's about to leave his hookup situation. Seems fine. He's about to leave and the guy's just telling him to stay. And then Kwame's like, nah, I'm gonna leave. The guy is forcefully telling him to stay, even shutting the door in front of Kwame, nicking his hand. And then at this point, I'm getting a little concerned, just a little bit. So he tells Kwame to just go sit in the bed, stay for a while. As Kwame's like back is turned against him, the guy starts undressing again. Kwame sees this and he's like, nah, nigga, I'm not about to have sex anymore. This guy, he does not care. He forcibly throws Kwame on the bed, undoes his pants, pulls it down, and then starts forcing himself on him. I could not believe what I was watching. I did not see that coming. It was a very uncomfortable scene. Very, very uncomfortable. Kwame is struggling. He's clearly overpowered and can't do anything. The guy basically humps him until he's finished. And Kwame just hurries up and rushes out. Couldn't do anything. Now, a lot of people were saying, that can't be me. That can't be me. I'm just like, well, in that situation, Kwame was clearly overpowered. And you don't know what would happen in that situation. So I'm guessing he was so shocked, it was just a flight situation. Kwame is left the apartment and he's just stunned. He reaches for his phone and he calls Arabella. Arabella, she's with Zane at the convenience store. She seems like she's in good spirits, I guess. So then she answers the phone, and then Kwame really just doesn't have any words to say. He just basically says, oh, well, just wanted to tell you goodnight. I guess he wanted to tell her, but he couldn't even speak the words to do it. So then she hangs up with him, tells him to have a good night. We see that Arabella's fine, and then we get back to Kwame, who sheds a tear, and that's where the episode ends. Woo! Now, see, I did not see that coming at all, y'all. Like, I just thought, oh, okay, Kwame getting it in, but I did not see that coming. That burly nigga was shiesty. Zane was shiesty. Now, this episode really highlighted consent and condoms for me. Like, basically, it showed that, you know, not only can assault happen between a man and a woman, it also happens in the gay community as well. And I'm really glad that the show touched on that, even though it was fairly triggering. I can imagine it being really triggering to a lot of people. Overall, I do think this, like, the overall theme of the season is consent. And it really does let you know that sexual assault can be in many forms. As far as this episode, I'm glad that they gave Kwame some shine. It was a lot of character development. Very great acting on Michaela Cole's part. Love her. I'm just like, wow, I'm really in. We have 12 episodes of this season. Like, you really don't know where the episodes are going to go. Now, I've seen 5 already. I'm going to get to it, y'all. Just give me some time. Yeah, this was a really good episode. Really disturbing, really real. But yeah, I enjoyed it. A+ again. Like, it's only getting better, I would say. Anywho, that's my quick thoughts on it. Let me know what you thought at the end. Make sure you like, comment, and subscribe. Tap, tap, tap. Tap, tap in. Sweetie joke if y'all don't get that. Anywho, yes, like, comment, and subscribe. I will see y'all for episode 5, hopefully quickly. So yeah, see ya.